I'll get over this. Maybe I'll run across the street to Rite Aid and I'll buy, I don't know what, God knows what, put in my body, and I will get to that standard, and I will meet Lana's friends because I want to.
What a terrible idea.
So I tell her,
because there's no way you can make a good first impression. Your wit is too dulled.
Yes.
Your
sunken cheeks, sweating.
Cheeks. Yeah.
So I sleep all day.
Hollow eyes.
You're like, that guy's a creep.
Yeah.
I empty my body
Does
out.
he have AIDS? So you know that what is it, like a Humvee type thing, which has the plywood boards on the front of the tires down the street, makes it look like Mad Max?
Oh, he's a big Trump guy, that guy.
Okay, well, political allegiance aside.
Mm-hmm. Is this the guy parked in front of the castle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with that? Because it's been there for, what, a year, 2 years? Like, I thought shit gets towed after a while.
He moves it.
He does.
Yeah, he's a weird guy. And I'm not judging him on his political leanings, of course. I'm an independent.
Right.
But he made that damn castle. The whole neighborhood was up in arms. So just so the audience understands, a guy literally
Yeah.
built a castle
Yeah.
on our nice little street.
Yeah.
Huge medieval times.
A
fan.
medieval times looking motherfucker. Maybe I'll sneak a picture of it so we can
It's
post it.
so bizarre to do that. It fits into the hopper of things people pay exorbitant amounts of money for that I don't know how to finish the sentence. Mm-hmm. But it costs a great deal of money to make your house look like a medieval castle.
He's a set director for the movie biz. So maybe you got to deal with some...
Maybe, but still.
I didn't know you could vote for Trump and work in Hollywood.
It's pretty crazy.
Well, get this. So he tried, him and his wife, who are a little bit older, they tried cashing in a couple years ago. So they put the house up on market.
What do you mean?
Well, they tried, you sell high here. You sell your house that you've lived in for 25 years that you paid $300,000 for. Now someone's telling you it's worth $3.
I don't know why I asked for clarification on that. It was pretty self-explanatory. Honestly, I'm on skates right now. We'll get into the food poisoning talk. Mm-hmm. But I thought that you meant cashing out meant something to do with committing suicide and life insurance. Honest to God. No. Honest to God, that's what I thought.
Well, he said cashing in, and cashing out often is when someone dies.
Yeah.
Right, so cashing out.
Yeah.
That makes sense. There's context, Dylan. We have a relationship where I could completely understand why that's what you would have thought.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, they tried to put that house up for sale for like 2.7, 2.8.
Unbelievable.
A fucking castle.
Unbelievable.
And if you watch anything on HGTV, it's always the wife that decides to buy the house. And no wife with her functioning brain would tell her husband she's co-signing on a fucking castle.
Yeah.
Unless she's a princess.
Right. Unless she's a princess.
Does it have a moat?
It probably does. I don't know. I try not to make eye contact.
The slice of pie you need to find in the market for a buyer like that is...
So we want an artist.
Yeah. It's 12:30 on Thanksgiving evening, and you've already had 3 slices of pumpkin pie. So you take just a little tiny sliver. Mm-hmm. I don't need to,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's okay. What you're saying is there's a small percentage of the population that would buy a castle.
There has been just an...
That's exactly what I'm saying.
There has been an influx of people to Los Angeles from Camelot recently.
Yeah.
So I actually could see that flying.
Well, it didn't happen. They took it off the market. They lowered it. By the way, you want to talk about lowering your expectations. They dropped it to like 2.4, like a $500,000 price reduction. Still didn't fucking move in this so-called rabid market of buyers.
Yeah.
So they took it off the market, and now I stare at that weird vehicle every day when I drive home, and he always has these wood panels.
Why
in front of it
the wood panels?
I have no clue. Maybe it's so someone can't stab his tires without,
But they can move the wood.
Might take a second, and that will allow him to get his rifle out and start firing.
Got it.
Stand his ground.
Yeah,
it's 100%. Crazy. I read about that Camelot thing in the Hill the other day. It's I don't know why because Camelot seems so cool.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So this is another podcast show. It's a show where we gab and goof about really whatever is the top of mind. I'm Dylan, saddle up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
I produce the podcast over there behind my glasses.
Hey, I'm feeling better than Dylan, obviously.
Yeah, so I'm not feeling good right now. I've gotten over the demon that took over my body essentially. I needed a biological exorcism with the help of some NyQuil and charcoal pills and Pepto-Bismol, a good amount of Gatorade, maybe a little chicken broth. But, it's so funny. I think I sustained the demon through an afterthought in the culinary world, which is add protein to the salad. And I would advise everybody to, if you ever have an option to add protein, to not do it, because oftentimes it does not make the salad better, because the protein that is marketed as an add-on is an afterthought. It is not prepared or meant to be on that. It is simply that, an add-on. So
a salad is a dance of ingredients.
Yes.
A well choreographed dance. All of it should come together as one. Yeah, you add that cold piece of grilled chicken that's sitting in a whole other side of the kitchen.
It ruins the
and
vibes.
throw it on there for $2.50.
Yeah, try $5.95, but yeah.
What was the proprietor of the salad with the add protein
Now
that almost
listen,
killed you?
I love this restaurant. It is a Valley...
Sweet Greens.
No, it is a Valley staple. They make delicious paninis, although they are putting avocados in them more frequently, and avocados are a Los Angeles thing. They don't suit everything well, but people in Los Angeles seem to think they do. They make things slippery. They make things slidey. But with that being said, and the food poisoning they gave me, I do still love Il Tremezino.
I knew you were going to say that. I love that place.
Yeah, it's a delicious
the
place.
The pesto chicken panini.
Yeah,
is just
it's
beautiful.
tough to beat. Yeah,
what are you
it's a
doing on
beautiful
this side of the
sandwich.
valley? You live on the other side of the hill.
Well,
That's a
my
lunch
mother
spot.
lives here. My family home is in Studio City. So, anyways, I got a kale salad. Trying to thin down, trying to get hot for the podcast. Once me and Nick transform into our hottest selves, that's when we will begin to be like Jake Paul.
Yeah.
We can ascent and battle Kristen Cavallari and Steven for the number one spot on Apple Podcasts.
It's unbelievable that you sent
Back
that
to
me.
the Beach will be number 2, and another podcast show will be number 1.
Heather McDonald on that same thing showed up at number 4 on Comedy Podcast, right behind the Conan O'Brien podcast.
So, anyways, it is this kind of afterthought of a chicken breast. This cold, almost wet inside, which would signify that it's been, I don't know, hanging out somewhere.
Or just unthawed.
Unthawed.
On a pan, bleeding out.
I bleeding out is such a good word, because it might have been cooked that morning, left out for too long. But what happened to me was, woke up at 6 a.m., Jocko.
Oh, sorry, quick question, because this is the fun part of food poisoning.
Right.
At what point did you eat the food that you think did it to you?
Ate the food about 9 o'clock at night.
Exactly, that's the timeline.
Ate the food
The
about 9
gestation
o'clock at
period
night.
of the bacteria having its way with your innards.
On
Right.
Monday night.
Yes.
You ate it, yes.
Yeah.
And then
Monday night, 9
stricken
o'clock.
Tuesday.
Stricken Tuesday morning. Wake up at 6 a.m. to write, Jocko. Have a glass of tea. And
Some Magic Mind.
Magic Mind. I immediately
Some Organifi.
have
Some
to-
Athletic Greens.
Yeah, all those things, and then I immediately have to go to sleep again. I'm
Magic spoon.
exhausted. Go to sleep, wake up, start writing notes on The
Is
Bachelor.
your tummy rumbling? Do you
My
know-
tummy begins to shoot tendrils of pain in my torso. It's almost like this sphere of nasty where it'll hit different quadrants of my stomach, and I am just not doing well. I have to close the computer and just lay down. I'm beginning to succumb to this evil. And first is weakness. And the weakness will get exponentially worse and worse and worse and worse, to the point where I'm literally moaning aloud. I don't have any agency over the sounds I'm making. They are natural. They are coming forth from my body, trying to audibly dispel the bacteria
Now,
that is trying to fucking kill me.
Dylan, bleep this out if this is inappropriate, but you share an apartment with your lovely wife Cecilia and her sister. Is that
My sister-in-law is in Bali. She's actually on a below-deck vacation right now.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, she's in a yacht in Bali.
Oh, the reasoning for mentioning it is I like this movie that came out like 20 years ago with Leonardo DiCaprio called The Beach. And you ever see it?
Yeah, it's notoriously a terrible movie.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the guys that goes to this new paradise and society that they've created gets mauled by a bull shark.
Right.
And he's like, not doing too well, and he starts moaning a little too much.
Sure.
And so they decide the way to solve that annoyance.
They kill
is
him.
Kind of, yeah. They just drag his moaning body out to the middle of the jungle and just leave him there
Right.
to his
Sure.
own devices. I could see Cece and your sister-in-law at some point with you moaning. I just had a funny thought of them
Sure.
carrying you out to the backyard
Yeah.
and leaving you there.
Thanks,
That's
Pat.
dangerous.
Yeah.
That's like a siren song for zombies to come feed on
Or
his
a
body.
coyote.
Totally,
A coyote.
totally.
Sorry for that digression.
No. It's cats have that too. When our dear Betty got cancer and we took her to the vet, we would bring her home, and our dear Dot would smell the weakness on her, and she would hiss at her, knowing that she was close to the end and that she did not have time to suffer this kind of weakness. So that's kind of brutal, but luckily my wife did not treat me like that. She took care of me as best as she could. But lots of bowel movements, lots of throwing up in the same toilet I was having bowel movements in. Just really, really yucky stuff.
Can I tell you one of the cruel jokes of food poisoning is dehydration?
Oh, my
so
God.
It's like this Sophie's choice of your body's craving liquid because, you vomited all the liquid out of your body.
But you don't.
And you're like, I need it. So then you do it. But after the first time, you realize that the cruel joke is your body now has
It has
ingested something.
ammunition now,
Now
yes.
it can once again purge
Right,
itself.
right.
And this will play out over and over
Yes,
and over again.
yeah.
It's like you got kicked out of a bar, but you just keep sneaking in. The bouncer's like, "Get the fuck out of here! What are you doing back here?" To the liquid that's going in your body.
Sure.
The liquid is the person that got kicked out of the bar.
You have gotten kicked out of a bar and snuck back in?
Oh, in
multiple
college,
times?
all the time. It was a little game. How many times could you sneak back in? I'm banned from Burrito Loco, and it would just be a game. I'd walk in with a group of people, and then I'd get spotted, and the dance would continue.
Fun little game.
That's the liquid again going into your body.
I've been thrown out of a bar one time in my life, the Boot in New Orleans, if people have been.
You got the boot from the boot?
I got the boot from the Boot. I made fun of the bouncer's hat, and he stamped me in the face with a dolphin stamp, which they were using to stamp people's hands. So I had a dolphin right going along the bridge of my nose, and then he shoved me into the bouncer, who was 6'4" and 250 pounds, who picked me up like I was a scarecrow and threw me out against the railing of the line.
What kind of hat was it?
It was like this Abercrombie and Fitch one that looked like it had been frayed, but purposely frayed. So I was like, "You been on a lot of fishing trips with that hat?" Something like that.
Yeah,
And I was a little piece of shit, 20-year-old. So
I don't blame the man, honestly.
No, I don't blame him either.
You could get yourself in trouble not having a fashion sense when you're a young man and walking into like a A&F or American Eagle and start buying accessories.
Right.
I was no stranger walking out of there with a stone necklace that I wore once, got made fun of, and then didn't have the
Unbelievable.
confidence to do it again.
Totally.
A visor one time.
Yeah,
From Aero Pastel.
Yeah, American Eagle and Abercrombie and Fitch and Aeropostale, I would say 50% of their wardrobe is understated, and then 50% of their wardrobe is things you will be 100% made fun of, and then it will be on you to return it or just say goodbye to the money. But anyways, the silver lining is 8 pounds down one day.
Yeah.
And think about it.
8 pounds in one day. How is that possible?
I was sensing like some...
It's all water.
You were like sad, or you it was miserable, I guess. But why did you get that salad? Because you wanted to stay
Sure.
skinny, Dylan, and I
Sure.
feel like you achieved your goal. So thank you. What's that place you like?
El Tramezzino.
El
They make
Tramezzino?
unbelievable food, and I will go back there.
Can you give me the shitty chicken again so I can lose 8
I'll
pounds?
never add protein onto any salad because, once again, it is an afterthought and an expensive one at that. So the weird thing was, when I was in the throes of it all, literally having delirium to kind of visions of dying, like very, very vivid visions of dying, my wife shaking me and not being able to wake me up, blacking out, not like going to sleep and then waking up. I mean, snapping awake and panicking for a split second because I just wasn't aware of what was going on. With all that being said, the moaning, the sweating, the hot, the cold, the chills, the sweat,
The yes, the no.
the yes and the no. I mean, 8 pounds is a lot for one day. I mean, I might do it again.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you need to lose 20 pounds, but they say, the genie pops up and says you'll get 4 days of food poisoning, would you take it? I don't know if I would.
If you're going to accept an Academy Award and you got to lose that weight to be on stage and all the red carpet photos,
right?
If you could line that up, I bet most actors or actresses would take that.
Would you take that? 4 days of absolute fucking misery?
Well, probably not, just because it's so painful. But Dylan, the
and
good
the
news
fleeting
for you,
nature of the lost weight, it comes back immediately.
it comes back immediately.
That's true, but your stomach is quite small at this point.
So this would be a time to realign your thought on exactly what is your nutritional diet and overeating.
A cleanse of sorts.
Yes,
exactly.
It's a
Yesterday
refresher.
I had
I cut off your thoughts. Sorry.
That's okay.
I had probably 10 spoonfuls of chicken broth, half a blueberry smoothie, at water and Gatorade. That's all I had.
And what'd you eat today? Probably nothing too.
Half a turkey sandwich.
You're going to lose more money, more weight today.
Yeah, I know.
It's actually it reaps benefits days after because your appetite is gone.
So would I do it again? Honestly, I think I would. As miserable as it was, shitting black because of the charcoal, moaning, crying one time, one tear, because of the tendrils of the pain. I would do it again.
Can I tell my first food poisoning story?
Of
Because I've
course.
only been food poisoning twice.
Yeah.
Once 20 years ago, I had some bad guacamole at El Coyote, a wonderful Mexican restaurant.
Well,
I think it
no.
was just sitting on the table too long.
Why do people say that it's a wonderful Mexican restaurant? Why do people say that Casa Vega is a wonderful Mexican restaurant? Like, just because it has kitsch doesn't make it wonderful. The
Well, it's
food
very
is
festive
inedible.
and,
You'll get sick if you go there.
Well, okay.
It's a Mexican restaurant.
It's a Mexican restaurant.
It's got a lot of vibe in there. So, and I think that guacamole, because it was like a group outing, I forget it was someone's birthday. I probably showed up 2 hours after the party started. Who knows how long that guacamole had, in fact, been rotting on
It had
that-
been
on that
oxidizing,
wooden
yeah,
table. So
right.
I ate that, and I didn't even know what I had. All right, so this is basically 20 years ago. And I still had that job at that North American Insurance Company.
Yeah.
So
Were you at your goal weight?
Yeah, I was in the boy band.
Right.
Actually, some of the boy band guys were there. So maybe. Oh yes, one of them was dating the Pink Power Ranger.
Maybe
and it was
they-
her birthday.
Oh,
I
my
love
God.
the Pink Power
Oh, she was
Ranger.
hot.
He was
Yeah, the
dating
keyboard
Kimberly.
the keyboard player in the band was dating Kimberly. So we go there.
One of the first loves of my life, and I bet I know what happened. You guys were competitive with one another, right? Within the band?
I never stepped on another band member's toes.
No, not in that
You
way.
fucked a Black Ranger.
But you guys were all in the same band. I bet somebody put
there
some
was some- there was
Visine
some-
in that, and somebody took you out.
Took me out.
Yeah.
Well, I was in love at that point because I was dating Lebanese Lana.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we were only dating a month, so I showed up at this thing, and I was just going to hang out for a little bit because I was scared. I was on, when you're dating someone new, and she was acting kind of a little jealous, but it was hot at that point, and I really wanted to get back to her place in Brentwood so that we could have sex. So I head back there. How was it? We hang out. We do the dance. I go to sleep.
Right, because you are within the window of aliveness to where you can make love.
Oh, I'm not feeling anything at all.
Right.
This is when the bacteria in my body starts doing its thing.
It begins cooking.
Now I know this girl officially for a month, so I'm not gonna take a dump in her bathroom.
Sure,
So
we've
I'm
got an Along Came Polly situation.
Fighting off what's happening to my body.
Right.
So I throw up, and as most of us had food poisoning, it wants to come out of every orifice. I think if there was a tunnel out of your earlobes, it would come out of there too.
Yeah.
So I'm fighting it off. And
Not a sinus thing though, which is, I've sworn off vaping because of. But I've been getting. Sorry to interrupt, but I've been
please.
getting too.
What a life change.
I've been getting too sick too often, and it's because I got the vaccine.
I pointed this out
But
last night on the show.
I am getting too sick too often, and the vaping is bad. Okay, I am sucking down these robot baby dicks that are aloe melon mango ice flavored.
Everyone needs to have a vice, Dylan.
And I'm just, it is brought down my walls. My constitution is through the floor. So I welcomed a sickness that did not clog my sinuses up, make me stuffy, give me sore nose, make my nose raw. But because I now have given up the vaping, I have to smoke cigarettes, which is ruining my bowels. Go ahead. I'm on skates. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
It's okay. Maybe this story will make you feel better, or perhaps give you a chuckle or two.
But did you ever meet any other Rangers?
Yeah, actually,
Jason,
my
Zach,
my
Billy?
upstairs neighbor, Pakalika, who was a member of this band called the Cottonmouth Kings. He was a Power Ranger for a couple minutes too. I think that was his claim to fame. He's dead now.
He's dead.
He died suddenly. He's dead. He's a really nice guy. I feel bad about saying that.
I wonder if he met Lois. Mm-hmm. Watch our Real Housewives podcast.
Yeah.
So, sorry, back to my story.
Yeah, sorry.
So I vomit, and somehow that gets me to 6:30 in the morning without pooping in her bathroom.
Right.
And the alarm clock goes off. I got to hop in my Saturn SL, and I got to drive on over to Woodland Hills to do a day of data entry for North American Insurance.
So you tithed to the bacteria to stave it away for a little bit.
I didn't know what it was at this point.
Right.
Okay. So I get to my cubicle, and I had a wonderful supervisor named Barbara. She was like a mother to me. And I'm working. I'm trying to work, and I'm full on food poisoning.
Because you had her in the palm of your hand. You manipulated her and were able to get her to fire people or not fire
her
you.
and Jeff, they were. That's a tale for another time.
Right.
But anyway, yes, I had a good relationship with both my supervisor and the manager of North American Insurance.
Yeah.
So
your first 2 marks for the 48 Laws of Power, I feel.
Yeah. Befriend the people in power.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I
and the people in accounting.
Yeah.
That was a tip.
Yeah,
told me
that's 47.
Always befriend the person that runs the human resource department, okay? Because they'll tip you off like, hey, someone's saying that you're offering free back massages on your cubicle. Don't do that anymore. You'll get your ass fired. Right.
Yeah.
So
or accounting, like Johnny, he'll give me my paycheck 2 weeks early if I ask.
Right. Or he'll let you know, hey, this is we've been in the red for 3-4 months. They're looking to sell, so I would
get out.
I would get
Start
out.
looking. Yeah. So I show up at this North American Insurance job.
Severance is going to be thin.
I have to keep going to the bathroom because now it's coming out of both holes. But I don't know what the fuck to do. Is it going to stop? I'm such a tough little bastard that I'm not going to give up my $16 an hour job and go home.
Right.
And I didn't even realize that Barbara says, what a sweet lady. She says, Pat, use one of your sick days. You can go home.
Right.
You're still going to get paid.
What a novel idea.
You got 5 of those.
Yeah.
I got 5 of those. She goes, you also got bank days. I'm like, what's that? She says, no clue, but it's a day off. It's like, nice. All right, I'm going to go home.
What a joy. 6 days off.
Growing up poor, I don't know about you, Pat. Like I know they say you get those 6 days and you get paid for them, but it seems like a trap. And you're gonna fire me and not let me come back, and I'm gonna be poor and destitute forever.
Hey, Pat, performance review. We saw that you took 3 of your 5 sick days last year.
Oh yeah, I was deathly ill and in the hospital.
Did you really need to take that many?
I was encouraged by my supervisor.
Well,
She
regardless, I think we're gonna move on.
I was trying to protect the people I work
We're gonna
with.
move on.
I'm gonna die.
Let me tell you something. Barbara was a real chick. She'd been
World-class
married
emperor.
5 times. She said, I'm good at getting married. I'm not good at staying married. She was.
Okay.
She ended up moving to Vegas after the company went under.
Makes sense.
Anyway, she said to me at one point when I used to call in after I was drinking at Dublin's Irish pub all night, and on a school night, and I'd call.
I don't think you need to say Irish pub.
Oh, right.
I had the exact same thought.
It was.
Yeah.
It was used to be on Sunset Boulevard. I wanted to give the audience at least a frame of reference for what I'm talking
It's like going, we ate at Marrakesh last night. It's a Middle Eastern restaurant.
yeah.
Maybe not that.
That'd be more.
Go ahead.
So Barbara, one time I did like the sick voice because I've been up till 4 a.m. At a bar and I have to work the next day, but I have no way I'm going to be able to perform. So I was like, leave a message. It's Barbara. Beep. Barbara. I think I'm sick. I am not going to be able to make it today.
Sure.
So give me a call. I'll be happy to come in if you guys need me, but I'm pretty sick. Well, Barbara calls me at 8 a.m. and she says, you can use it as a sick day. I don't need the phony voicemails anymore. She kept it real, Barbara.
Wow, way
Classic
to
Barbara.
go,
She is
Barbara.
like your mom, just calling you on your bullshit. But the wicked night, you could stay home, but have some snacks, watch some South Park on VHS that you taped.
Exactly. Back to the. I'll wrap this story up. So anyway, I go home. I drive in my SL Saturn, and I'm driving on the 101 freeway, and it's raining that day. And guess what? I have to vomit. So I have to pull over the car on the 101 freeway and just open up my fucking window and vomit out of there. I finally make it home to my shitty apartment, but get this. This text didn't exist back in 2001. You had to get the voicemails. You pressed your recorder. Lana, who I'm in love with and obsessed with at this point, honey, I hope you feel well. She had a beautiful English accent. By the way, she was raised in England. And she goes, don't forget.
You miss her?
No. She turned out to be a complete witch. She goes,
Did she shove a finger up your ass?
No. That was Lorena.
Those are the two. I just cannot keep them straight.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, that one's
Lorena owned a hair salon. She was a 35-year-old Latina, and she was wacky. And I know where you'd be confused because I have a Lebanese Lana and Looney.
Lebanese Lana is the one that tried to punch you in the face.
That's where this story's going. So Lana reminds me that tonight is going to be the first night that I meet all her friends at the Standard on Sunset Boulevard, a very, very kooky hotel. And I'm like,
I'm sorry, are
oh
you
my...
sick right now?
No, why? Do I sound sick?
No. In this moment.
Oh, I'm in the full throes of food poisoning at 8 in the morning.
Got it.
And now I'd already confirmed with her that I'd meet her friends that night at the Standard. All her friends, all her Judgy
hotel.
McJudgy friends, all her coworkers. I have food poisoning.
So it is literally an impossibility to... I was thinking about this last night, how weak I was, and I was talking to my father today, who had amoebic dysentery in the jungles of Vietnam.
Vietnam.
And had to get medevaced out because this stuff is there is no willing yourself to the Standard or to the evac point,
Right.
It is, you don't really have a choice. I mean, Dad was like, if you're really, mentally strong, you can keep willing yourself until you just lose consciousness. But like, you can't, you're so fucked up. You can't just go out to the Standard, a kooky spot on Sunset.
So I got 12 hours.
Well, what was it? What were you about to say?
Just it's like MMA fighters. There's levels of those levels of heart, and some people, they'll get rocked and they'll go down, they'll put their hands over, they won't defend, fight called. Some people will fight through it until they can barely stand, but at some point you just can't withstand the punishment.
You can't withstand it.
And make it to the evac point or the Standard.
I'm glad you guys have set this up because what I didn't realize now, because my wife, I'm going to compare it to the show Naked and Afraid, when it's like 4 days and they drank the water they shouldn't drink, but they got to make it 21 more days, so they fight through.
Yeah.
Well, they just need to sleep on the ground and let ants crawl over them. I had to meet Lana's friends.
Oh my God.
So I got 12 hours in my head, and I don't know I have food poisoning, so I'm just thinking, I'll get over this. Maybe I'll run across the street to Rite Aid, and I'll buy, I don't know what, God knows what, put in my body, and I will get to that Standard, and I will meet Lana's friends.
What
because
a
I
terrible
want to
idea.
So I tell her...
Because there's no way you can make a good first impression. Your wit is too dulled.
Yes.
Your
sunken cheeks,
sunken
sweating.
cheeks. Yeah. It's
So I
just
sleep all day.
hollow eyes.
You're like, that guy's a creep.
Yeah.
I empty my body
Does
out.
he have AIDS?
I do everything I can. And 7 o'clock rolls around, and I put my ass in a shower, and I put clothes on, and I fire up the engines on that SL1 Saturn, and I
Great
roll over
year,
the hill
great car.
to meet my beautiful girlfriend, Lana, who I want to impress.
Who punched
And
you in the face?
This is where I'm going with this. So I hang in there. We hang out in the lobby. We have very expensive drinks. I make small talk. I'm very sick. I have to excuse myself to go to the bathroom a few times, probably thinking, what's he got, a fucking Coke problem?
Yeah. But honestly, it'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Oh, Jesus. Another story I've told, I think, on this. This is where I went into the bathroom, and there's a fucking dude in there, and he's staring at the mirror, and he goes, you fucking own this town. And I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Shit. Maybe,
That's
anyway.
the kind of shit you see at the Standard.
So I last till midnight.
Unbelievable.
And I got a couple drinks in me, too.
I'm sure, you've lived a pretty long life.
Mm-hmm.
Old joke.
Oh, right. All right, so this is
I'm
where the story
sure
wraps.
that you have had acts where you felt pretty heroic. You're like, Pat, you did a good job there. That was a tough spot you were in. I can't think of one more profound than this. I mean,
Pussy will do that to you.
oh, got it. Wow.
Yeah. Even though my mind wasn't on that, I was thinking bigger picture.
Sure.
I'm going to marry this girl.
Well,
She's
it's
the
an
coolest girl ever.
unconscious treasure that is motivating you, driving you forward.
So I'm actually starting to feel actually a little better because at this point now, I'd been in the throes of food poisoning. What is it? It's like a
24 hours.
Yeah. So
Although I don't know, I'm still.
Oh,
stuff's not great today.
That's
Oh,
what-
it's like you got hit by a car.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm still in recovery. I'm still there. So we're all hanging out with the friends, and it's starting to wrap up.
Right.
And I've made it. I got through it. So Lana hops in my car, and we're driving somewhere. I thought we were going to go back to Brentwood so I could pass out. And this is when she's in the passenger seat, and she says, oh, do you mind? We're all heading over to another bar.
Yeah.
And I said, we've already been talking to those people.
Okay.
And then I'm driving, but I didn't realize she had a little temper on her, Lebanese Lana.
Sure.
So I don't, my memory, I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was somehow offensive. I didn't articulate it well.
What you just said was offensive.
Yeah, it could have been said better.
A lot.
But there's context. I was sick all day. And
Right, but you
had,
didn't tell her that.
Oh, no, she knew I'd gotten,
Oh, okay.
I was sick. She didn't know it was the level because I didn't want to come off as a whiny pussy.
Right.
And I said something, and that's when she punched me right in my face while I was driving.
You
Yeah.
got Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While I was driving, not her driving.
Oh, yeah, reverse Chris Brown.
She could have knocked me out, and we both could have died. I could have ran off the road and hit a
Right.
fucking tree because she knocked me out. That's what I probably should have known.
Yeah, it's so funny when you get really angry, you kind of get irrational and you don't like factor in things like if I do kind of hit a sweet spot and he goes limp, we might, drive into oncoming traffic. Lebanese Lana sounds like she did have quite a temper.
Oh,
Maybe she
I dumped her ass.
Maybe she had her wits about her, and she knew if she hit him in the right spot, they would both end up dead.
That's true. Yeah,
And
maybe she was
that
trying
was
to
the
do
goal.
like a very violent Romeo and Juliet
No,
kind of thing.
she wants to live. She wants to live.
Now, here's I think I know the answer, but you didn't break up with her the next day.
No.
Right.
No, it lasted another year. It was a very tumultuous
A
relationship.
year after you get punched in the face.
A year. Actually,
So
it lasted
crazy.
a year and a half. And she used to get mad at me if I wouldn't put out.
Did you have sex the night she punched you in the face?
No.
Oh.
No.
And
Woke up the next morning, though, and probably went at it. But, yeah, it was a crazy
Just
relationship.
throw up on the mouth, stuff like that.
No.
What a beautiful relationship.
Yeah. But we broke up. But get this. We broke up, and then 2 months later, because her family traveled a lot, and one of them lived in New York, I emailed her and said, I just check in. I know we're not talking, but I just want to check and make sure your family's okay.
Emailed.
Yeah, we didn't have texts then.
Yeah, it was 2001.
Yep, 2001.
The day that TSA changed forever.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dick Cheney.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know what? Speaking of, do you have anything?
I do. I have a fake sick story and a food poisoning story.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I'll make it brief because I've told it years ago, but I feel like it was on like The Bachelor or something. But so I said yesterday actually, like, I don't miss work that often because of being ill.
Yeah.
I have called into work being ill, but if I ever do that, I'm lying.
Yeah.
And one time when I did that was in 2011, and I was working at
10 years after the day TSA changed forever.
It's crazy. And 2 years after Ryan, the chef's dad, died.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
So
working at
sad.
Sports Authority, Eden Prairie, selling shoes to housewives. Fun gig. I was the insult king. Well, one weekend, it sprung up on me that it was Soundset, which was the big hip-hop music festival that it was put on by Atmosphere, Slug and
Yeah,
Ant. You know, lots of people know Atmosphere.
Yeah. What a poet.
And it
How many
contain-
people have gotten food poisoning from fucking Juicy Lucy's? My God. What
They're-
a vile combination.
prone to giving you food poisoning? The Juicy
No, it's
Lucy?
just it's a yeah, that's unfair of me. Juicy Lucy's look delicious. I've never had one, but
And what a wild game of word association. It's because I referenced Minneapolis. You said
Yeah.
Juicy Lucy. I don't know how
Yeah.
many people know that.
What's a Juicy Lucy?
a Juicy Lucy is a Minneapolis staple.
Well, I live in L.A. What is it?
It's a burger with cheese in the
Oh,
center
melted in the
of
middle?
it. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was
Matt's Bar is the originator.
Yeah. And there's kind of like Detroit has its Coney Island Wars or whatever.
Right.
Minneapolis has its Juicy Lucy Wars. There are disputes. Some
People
other
are killed
bar.
over it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
The streets of Minneapolis
cheeseburger.
are incredibly bloody. Speaking of the shithole that is Minneapolis, today, First Avenue, because of blowback on
Just read this.
on
What happened?
Dave Chappelle show got
Dave
canceled.
Chappelle was supposed to perform there, but because of pushback, because of his anti-trans material, they canceled the show because
Sick.
of the safety of their audiences. They
Sick.
are not just a black box that holds performances. They care about the people that come into their walls.
Right.
It disgusts me.
Which would mostly be Dave Chappelle fans.
Coincidentally, I saw Dave Chappelle at. That is such a great point. The people they are canceling on are fucking pissed. No one feels protected. I saw Dave Chappelle at First Avenue. I digress.
Well, I mean, I think it's important, though, because, I think that we should be welcoming these conflicts. We need this civil war to get going.
Yeah, definitely.
We need these kind of events to pop off so that the ball can get going down the hill. Because right now, we're not quite at a flat line, but we're not at a steep enough decline. You know what I mean? We need Franz Ferdinand to be assassinated.
Yeah.
But it was announced the show wasn't just canceled; it was moved to the Varsity Theater, and I'm sure whose ever pockets are being deepened. It's one hand or the other, and it's just a bunch of grandstanding.
Yeah.
Sports Authority, working there, Atmosphere Hip Hop Festival continues to grow. It was niche.
Sound City. What's it called?
Sound Set.
It
It continued to grow and get bigger and bigger to the point where they were getting really big headliners. This year, it was co-headlined by Mac Miller and Big Boi of Outkast.
He's dead.
Big Boi is not. Mac Miller absolutely is.
Mac Miller.
I was super into Big Boi and just starting to get into Mac Miller. And Mac Miller was actually one of the best live performances. I've
Big
ever
Boi,
seen.
like L.A. radio Big Boi?
No, Big Boi from Outkast. I
really hate that song.
I hate that song. I really fell in love with him with his solo venture, Sir Lucius Left Foot and the Son of Chico Destiny. It's got bangers. But so off the heels of that album, he's headlining Soundset. But I have to work at Sports Authority Saturday. That day's popping. It's probably it's summer, gearing up for football and soccer season.
Sure.
That's the time you get little kids and their gel pads. That's a store metric. All right.
Right.
I scare these parents into saying their children's heels feel pain.
Yeah.
And I sell, but not on this day. I call.
Let me ask you a question. Do you want your child to suffer? Oh, you don't? Then buy these insoles.
Yeah, most of the parents that come in here, they care about their children, so they get these, and it's kind of a no-brainer. But whatever you want to do. Those. Yeah, that's a good line. I never said that specific line.
Yeah. You could get those, but your child will be in constant pain.
Yeah, it's one thing that you don't care that he's going to get made fun of, but that he's going to be in pain and probably affected for the rest of his life.
Physical pain.
I don't even call, actually. I no-call, no-show.
Yeah.
And
no
then,
income, no assets.
And then the next day, I call and say that I had my appendix out.
Oh.
Wow, what a fucking lie.
Nick.
So much to the point that I I actually did have my appendix out 9 years earlier.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because if someone follows up, you're gonna have speak with authority on the operation.
Right.
I absolutely could. I was up there, and I had the scar, and I re-injured the scar and put bandages over it.
Wow.
Oh my God!
Why did you take the week off, dude?
Because I'm a warrior.
Oh.
Not only that, I curried favor. They're like, look at him out there.
Do I want to ask this question or not? How did you re-injure the scar?
With a shaver, like a electric shaver.
Oh my!
It didn't hurt at all. It just made it red. It made the area red.
Okay.
It was quite diabolical. And my buddy Aaron Samuels, who I met at Sports Authority, we became fast friends and still talk to this day. He's a listener, I think, even a Patreon supporter. Nice. He goes, don't bullshit a bullshitter. And he just completely knew.
Well, it's like, it's one of those things where, you know, how we talk about your what's the word I'm looking for? Your brother.
Commitment?
No, your brother, tall one.
Oh, Dwayne.
He's a gypsy.
Yeah.
You know, why not put your efforts into actual work?
Oh, well, my grandmother said he's really smart, and I had to explain to her he's a specialist.
Right,
he's not smart. He's good at one thing, ripping people off and doing drugs.
So I guess it's a bad analog, but you put a lot of work into this rouge.
Yeah, but it wasn't like I was building like a drug empire where I could have built a legal business. I needed this one day off so I could go see Mac Miller and Big Boi.
Again, I said bad analog. I said bad.
But it worked out, and today today, I believe that type of deceit is quite horrible. But I think of it as mischief back in the day. But now
Sure.
I try my best not to lie.
That's a
cheat, or
great
steal.
story for a podcast 10 years after the fact.
Yeah. It really is. And yeah, I guess it calls to mind. The worst lie I've ever told was I had this food poisoning and I called in for a week straight. I've told it before, but shitting. Every day I call in and go, hey, can't come in. Hey, can't come in. Hey, can't come in. I have this terrible thing going on with my bowels. And after 4 days, I'm so dumb. I'm 20, 21 years old. I'm so dumb that I don't think if you are shitting liquid nonstop for 4 days to the point where you are incapacitated and you cannot come into work, there's something very, very wrong with you.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Go to the emergency
You
room.
have Ebola or something. So my boss was like, are you going to a doctor? And I was like, it's the craziest thing. I said I was going to see how I feel tomorrow, but I actually have a doctor's appointment too. So I'll just see you on Monday and let you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, we pray for everybody to not get food poisoning out there.
Hey, tell us in the comments section. I don't need to hear this long, written thesis or whatever. Just tell me what you ate that poisoned you.
Yeah,
I think that'd be funny.
Or you could do like an equation, like side of chicken equals. Well, we know what's going to happen. So, yeah, just say what you ate.
Less words better. We don't want to hear your bullshit. I love how badass for engagement, but he's like, keep it succinct.
Yeah.
Tell us whatever.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Whatever
What'd
you
you
want
eat?
to do.
The last time I got food poisoning 10 years ago, drive-through McDonald's, it was a quarter pounder. I believe it was the mayonnaise that they put on that thing, and it took me out.
Yeah, it was
keep it like that.
Split and salty.
Keep it like that.
We love you guys. Thanks for listening. Fresh one of these every week on patreon.com, or extra one of these every week, patreon.com. We'll see you next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Bon voyage.
Pat, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.